Donald Trump's world was turned on its head yesterday when he learned that President Joe Biden will drop out of the 2024 race. Trump has a new rival for the White House, and that is Vice President Kamala Harris. Trump told CNN just minutes after Biden announced his decision to exit the race, quote, "Harris will be easier to beat than Joe Biden would have been." Trump reacted to Biden's big news on Truth Social, writing, "Crooked Joe Biden was not fit to run for president and is certainly not fit to serve and never was. We will suffer greatly because of his presidency, but we will remedy the damage he has done very quickly, make America great again." Now, Trump was back on the campaign trail in Grand Rapids, Michigan on Saturday, attending his first rally since the assassination attempt. He asked the crowd who they would prefer he run against the day before Biden dropped out.
Who would you like to most run against if you're us, if we want to win? Ready? Kamala Harris. Crooked Joe Biden.
Trump seemed to be feeling the heat yesterday. There were already rumblings online yesterday that he's pondering backing out of a debate against Harris, and he himself called for the debate to be hosted by Fox News. Quote, "I think the debate with whomever the radical left Democrats choose should be held on Fox News rather than the very biased ABC." He posted online, "Biden never had COVID. He's a threat to democracy. It's not over. Tomorrow, crooked Joe Biden's going to wake up and forget that he dropped out of the race today." The issues Trump was planning to attack Biden on the most are no longer a possibility. The Trump campaign will have to now figure out a new strategy to take on Harris. And some might say Republicans are feeling a little lost, trying to figure out where to start. Senior Trump campaign advisor Jason Miller told NBC that a major liability for Harris is that she wants, quote, "to ban plastic straws." She also said previously that she was in favor of banning fracking. It was revealed through open secrets that Donald Trump donated thousands of dollars to Kamala Harris's previous campaigns in 2011 and 2013. Very interesting.
Yeah, and
it reminds me of that. Did you ever see the Oprah Winfrey clip where Donald Trump is being asked about his future presidential prospects? And he said he wouldn't run as a Democrat, he would run as a Republican because those people will believe anything, and it's since been like scrubbed from most online record.
Did he really say that? I've seen that, and my understanding was that was a made-up clip, but I don't know for sure. I believe he would. Look, he was a former Democrat, just as J.D. Vance was a former Never Trumper, and the party used to be very different a million years ago, but we're now where we are, which is that the party is completely behind Donald Trump. He has total control of it. There was no dissension against him in the RNC last week. His vanquished rivals, Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis, have all fallen in line behind him. Donald Trump is more popular in the Republican Party than he was when he won election in 2016. Certainly then after he lost election in 2020. So it's his party, and I don't think they're going to have any trouble running against Kamala Harris. Maybe they would have preferred, I believe that they would have preferred to run against Joe Biden because all the polling had Donald Trump eviscerating Biden right now. So this is, this is a curveball. But of course, in the past, things that have seemed like political curveballs that might be advantageous have not worked out. Remember the game changer decision to have Sarah Palin be John McCain's VP. They needed to do something dramatic to shake up that race because John McCain was clearly losing to Barack Obama in the polling. So they're like, what's something that can really excite people that, could be, it's a high risk, high reward decision. Let's go with this relatively politically unknown person. Then she turned out to be terrible and embarrassing, and it was a very, very bad move. History could repeat itself here, or it could not. We don't know. But they'll have no problem running against Kamala Harris, and her, they'll say she's a liberal, left, socialist, Marxist person. Attractive words for you, maybe, but not for swing voters. They'll play up again that she is actually even more in support of progressive environmental stuff, like banning fracking, than Joe Biden is. They're going to try to convince working people in the Rust Belt that she's bad for their economic interests for that reason. They're going to say, right, the kind of California liberal type stuff that is very unpopular in the rest of the country. That's what they're going to run against. And they're going to run against her on immigration because she was in charge of, she was the border czar, a very thankless task for years, and did not really do anything on that front.
She did get tripped up in 2020 when Tulsi Gabbard really criticized her for her background as Attorney General, putting parents in jail for having their children not be in school. I think the criminalization of absences in California was a horrible policy, a horrible way to handle truancy issues. And I think that Kamala Harris should not take credit for that. She should say, as Attorney General, I was enforcing the law, which is what you do as Attorney General. Would you propose our Attorney Generals don't enforce the law? Like, it's an easy thing to combat that basic talking point. I hope she doesn't get tripped up. She's very different from how she was in 2020 on the campaign trail. Her campaigning in North Carolina demonstrated that if she spoke exactly like that, she would do incredibly in a debate with Donald Trump, and I think that's what he's afraid of. I think that's why he's posting on X. He's like, what are we gonna do? How could Democrats do this? There's a coup in their party. What about all of the money we have fundraised and have spent in campaigning against Biden? Do we get that back? It's just a sign of weakness, honestly. It should have been, okay, excited to debate Kamala Harris, can't wait. But instead, all of the momentum coming out of the RNC is now quashed because Kamala Harris has
well, I mean, he agreed to do 2 debates with Joe Biden, and Joe Biden dropped out of the race. So he's under. I mean, I fully expect he will do a debate against Kamala Harris. You know, he said maybe it should be on Fox News. We would of course be happy to host a debate here on Rising. They can do it right here. They can do it on News Nation as well with our friends over there. So I have very little doubt. I think they will end up doing a debate. J.D. Vance said, you know, Kamala Harris had called J.D. Vance when he was selected as the VP, and he missed her call because he doesn't answer phone numbers from people who are not in his phone. So she left a voicemail message.
People from California.
Then he called her back.
We know he answered.
And my understanding is they say, you know, he said. Didn't want to commit to a debate because don't expect you to be the vice presidential candidate. We expect you to be the presidential candidate. So that suggests to me that there will end up being a debate. I don't think Donald Trump is or should be afraid of debating Kamala Harris whatsoever. You know, he's very confident in debates. He knows that he hit a home run last time. Obviously, it was a very easy job he had debating Joe Biden at a time where Joe Biden is no longer able to speak in complete sentences. But again, Kamala Harris is not known for her rhetorical gifts. Before we started talking about how Joe Biden is so bad at this, we were mostly focused on how bad Kamala Harris is at this. So she can always has room for improvement, and maybe she'll prove to be a much more effective speaker and advocate for her worldview than she has been previously. I think that's totally possible. I think her liabilities can be fixed. I'm not saying this is a foregone conclusion or it's a done deal. The Republicans do probably have a more difficult election to win on their hands now, but it's game on, and Trump will not be afraid of debating her.
Well, what if she brings up policy issues and makes him take a stance on something?
What if he makes her take a stance on? I mean, they're both going to do that.
She already has. I
mean, she has to own the Biden administration's records of failures. What the American people view as. I mean, the American people trust Trump over Biden on immigration, on the economy, on virtually everything except abortion. Every single issue except abortion, and she's been the second in command of the administration. So he still will make her own a record that the majority of Americans are appalled by. And and then she can go after him on, you know, the things he's said and done relating to the election and his criminal stuff. And maybe that's what Democrats and the media will focus on, and they think that's a winning message, that and abortion. And what do I know? Maybe it is.
I think that Kamala Harris probably has a lot of different views than Joe Biden does. And when she was going around doing her public engagements, she said a lot of platitudes. And I think that was smart because her stances are different from Joe Biden's. But when
different and worse.
I would disagree with that, but her campaigning in North Carolina, I think, was a perfect demonstration. Okay. Watch those speeches. That's what we can expect, not Kamala Harris viral clips of platitudes.
Yeah, I think she's going to deviate. I don't know. We'll see. She could deviate from Biden in ways that are even less appealing, like I said, particularly on the very progressive environmental issues, which I think are going to be a tough sell in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Ohio-type places. But who knows? Maybe she'll balance out her ticket, or maybe she'll moderate herself on those things. I'm seeing a lot of commentary from Dem strategist type people suggesting that she will run as an uber moderate on those kinds of issues. So we shall see.
We shall see.
More Rising right after this.